Millions of years ago, when the first life originated on Earth, it was in the depth of the oceans. Gradually, life began to multiply, and soon the ocean was teeming with all sorts of organisms, leading to scarcity of oxygen, food, and space. This called for life to gradually shift to land and air, which were still empty and waiting to welcome life. For this, organisms needed to overcome a huge hurdle of breathing in air, since they only had gills and were accustomed to breathe underwater. Amidst the many organisms, there were few who could respire through the skin and also through a specialized air sac below their gills that acted as lungs. These organisms moved to land and gradually started developing rudimentary lungs for taking in oxygen from the air. During the course of so many years, these rudimentary lungs developed into fully functional ones, and thus proper respiration started. So friends, what we can infer from this is how important respiration is for all organisms, since it is the sole mechanism which paved the way forward for evolution. Hello and welcome to a brand new video lesson from Notebook. Today we shall take up a very important chapter from your syllabus called Respiration in Organisms. We have divided this chapter into 6 parts for your better understanding. The first part that we shall discuss about today will give us an introductory idea about respiration and its different types. But before we go into all the complexities, let us try to answer a simple question. Why do we eat food? To put it simply, we can say that the food we eat provides us with the energy to do work. But is the food directly able to give us the energy? The answer will be no. The food that we eat is digested and absorbed in our stomach and small intestine. It is here that the food is broken down into simpler carbohydrates, which is glucose. Friends, now the magic begins. This glucose is oxidized to produce energy, and this complex process is called respiration. Sounds complicated, right? Let us break it down into simpler sentences, just like how the food got broken down to glucose in our stomach. You know that when we breathe in, we take oxygen. The oxygen flows through our bloodstream and travels to the cells of our body. It is here that the oxygen meets the glucose that the stomach has generated and distributed to the entire body from the food that was consumed. The glucose reacts with the oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, water vapor, and the much needed energy for the body. The carbon dioxide thus released enters the bloodstream and is ultimately eliminated from the body. Hence, to summarize the entire process of respiration, we can denote it with the help of an equation. It is this energy that actually helps us do the different activities throughout the day. It is also due to the same reason that when we feel tired, we are advised to take in energy drinks that are rich source of glucose for instant energy. Do you know how is this energy produced, or in that case even stored in our body? Energy produced or stored is in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. It is a molecule carrying energy and is often termed as the energy currency of a cell. Now that we have got a clear image of how respiration occurs, let us learn about its 2 important types. We can divide respiration into 2 broad categories, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, depending on how organisms respire. Aerobic respiration is the process of respiration in presence of oxygen. We humans are aerobes, which means we respire in presence of oxygen. In anaerobic respiration, organisms respire in the absence of oxygen. This category again has 2 bifurcations, facultative anaerobes and obligate anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes are those that can grow both in presence and absence of oxygen, such as E. coli, while obligate anaerobes can only grow in the absence of oxygen, such as Clostridium tetani. In aerobic respiration, glucose is completely oxidized to form carbon dioxide, water vapor, and energy in the form of ATP. In anaerobic respiration, glucose is converted into alcohol or acid in absence of oxygen to release energy. This means that partial breakdown of glucose occurs in this case. Let us look at some examples to understand better. In yeast, glucose is converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide, and energy in the absence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration occurs in our body too. During hard strenuous exercise, our muscles get tired rapidly and there's a huge demand for energy, which cannot be fulfilled from aerobic respiration. So the body does it in a different way. The glucose in the muscle cells is converted to lactic acid in the absence of oxygen, thereby releasing huge amounts of energy. This lactic acid builds up in the muscles and causes pains and sores and provides signals for the body to stop the exercise immediately. So friends, can you see how respiration is crucial for our existence? In our successive parts on this chapter, we shall learn more about respiration and the different parts involved in the process. Do revise and rewatch the video lesson so that you are thorough with our today's discussion. We shall meet you soon in our next part. Till then, Team Notebook wishes you goodbye.